Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel. Now, I just did a video yesterday where I looked at the new Jinx EX, but we got some more card reveals last night to take a look at here. We got some really interesting cards that are potentially coming out, but we got some new cards. We got a new Ditto card that looks to be pretty good, and we even got Zapdos EX revealed, which I know a lot of people are going to be excited to see a Zapdos EX in the TCG. I'm excited to look at these cards. We all are going to go on to enjoy the video. Make sure to leave a like in the video, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers here on the second channel, so if you haven't subbed already, click that subscribe button down below, and yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of some of these cards. So yeah, we'll start things off here with this new Chansey. So all these cards are from the Pokemon Card 151 set. So yeah, we got Chansey here with the ability Lucky Bonus. If you took this Pokemon as a face-down prize card and your bench is not full, so it basically acts like Draw Prism. Before you put in your hand, you may put it on your bench and flip a coin. If heads, take one more prize card. Now, that's pretty insane, to be honest. Now, yes, you do need to get lucky. However, Peonia is in the format. You can play Chansey with Peonia if you really wanted to. You could use Peonia to put Chansey into your prize cards, and then because you play Peonia, you know where your prizes are. You're not shuffling the prizes like with something like Heavy Ball. You can actually guarantee the Chansey with the Peonia combo, and that's actually kind of cool. Being able to like guarantee Chansey through like Peonia is actually kind of sick. So honestly, I could see this being an actual decent card. Now there is some caveats. You do have to flip a coin to take up an extra prize. So it comes down to luck, but a lot of the time this can turn into it can turn a 3 prize KO into a 4 prize KO if you flip heads on Chansey. Yes, Chansey is really risky to work. Now I think you can actually chain Chansey. If I'm correct, you should be able to like take multiple Chanseys from your prize cards. Now, obviously, you need to have bench space, so you have to have like 2 cards on your bench to be able to like do like a double Chansey. But I'm pretty sure you can do double Chansey. You should be able to take a double Chansey. If you flip heads, you can take your extra prize, and that could be another Chansey, and then you could flip heads on that. So I think you can do that. You would have to get like super lucky to flip like 2 heads to, kind of get like an insane playoff, but there might be some really cool combos with Chansey. I definitely see Chansey seeing play, because again, it does synergize with Peonia, and I think it does work with Arc Phone too. It's another way you can put in the prizes. But yeah, as long as you know where Chansey is in the prize cards, you're always going to be able to, take advantage of it. So I'm definitely interested to see if people try to make Chansey work, because it's a really cool ability that could make for some pretty funny wins. Next up is a new Articuno. We've had some pretty good Articunos in the past. This one, if this Pokemon has any water on it, it has a 0 retreat. Keep in mind, this does work with Baxcalibur. And you got Blizzard doing 110 damage and then 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So nothing too crazy to write home about. I would say the other 2 Articunos that we have in the game, the Paralyzed one and the Pogo one, are probably a lot better than this Articuno. 110 and then 10 to the bench isn't really anything to write home about. Yeah, it does have like a free retreat cost, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. Next up, we do have a brand new Zapdos EX. I know a lot of people are excited to see Zapdos EX. This card is actually kind of cool. So it does have 200 HP. It is a lightning-type Pokemon, so keep that in mind when you are looking at the Zapdos. It does synergize really well with Miraidon EX. And its gun ability, if this Pokemon has any lightning energy on it, it has no retreat. So if you have a lightning energy on it, the Zapdos has a free retreat. This could be really good in Miraidon decks to have yourself a free retreat pivot at the start of the turn. Zapdos with lightning energy on it would have a free retreat. Now, Zapdos' main attack is actually pretty strong. So it does 3 lightning energy, which you, again, can power up with Flaffy or Electric Generator. It does 120 damage. And then this attack does 90 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with any damage on it. So this attack is actually kind of strong in some scenarios. It's like I don't even know if it's a worse Jolteon VMAX, but it does have like the same power where you're hitting the active for 120, so you are doing a little bit of damage. You can, of course, increase this damage output with Regieleki VMAX to do like 150. You could play this attack with the Pogo Zapdos if you wanted to do 130. And then 90 to a Pokemon damage on it. Now, that's really strong. Being able to snipe something for 90 is really powerful. You can, of course, combine this attack with the Hawlucha in the format, where you bench Hawlucha, you can put 1 damage on the bench, and it kind of synergizes really well with Zapdos. So being able to like go Halucha and then do 90 to something is kind of insane. You can do this to like soften something up to be KO'd with like down the road for like Miraidon. You can knock something out, like against Lost Box, if there's no Manaphy in play, this attack could go pretty hard. I mean, if they don't have Manaphy down, you're going to be like knocking out Comfeys, taking out Sableye. This thing can take 2 prizes against Lost Box if it's not dealt with right away, and that's pretty cool. Now, the downside is Zapdos, it does only have 200 HP. However, there is that new Big Charm tool card coming out in Paldea Evolved, which will give Zapdos a little bit more bulk, and that actually will help Zapdos out a lot. Having that Big Charm tool card to give Zapdos 15 more HP will give it a little bit more bulk, because like Zapdos will get like instant deleted by like Dragonite, and I guess like the Big Charm won't help too much because you'd still die to Dragonite, but even then, like being able to take 2 prizes against Lost Box is kind of insane. The downside of Zapdos is, of course, Manaphy is going to be a thing, so if you're going to build your Zapdos deck, you probably want to make sure that you have multiple Gust in your deck so you're able to knock out their Manaphy, but some decks don't even play Manaphy, like Arctina doesn't play Manaphy, Miraidon itself doesn't play Manaphy. There's a lot of matchups where the opponent doesn't play Manaphy, and that could be pretty good for Zapdos, or for whatever reason, if they don't get the Manaphy in play, Zapdos can really punish them for not doing that. So I really do like Zapdos EX. I'm excited to try this card out. And then we do have a new Moltres, which there's no artwork here for some reason. All right, then. If this Pokemon has any fire energy on it, it has no retreat. So that's kind of the theme of Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres. And then it's got the attack Long Distance Flight. For 3 fires, you discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon and do 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it does act as a snipe attack for fire decks. An Armor Rouge deck could actually benefit from Moltres. Armor Rouge doesn't, I mean, it does have some sniping with like Delphox V, but this could be decent in Armor Rouge. I'm not sold on Moltres, though. It doesn't really do too much other than like a 120 snipe. Obviously, I think Zapdos was the best bird trio that got revealed, and Zapdos EX actually could be a good addition to Miraidon decks, but Articuno, I'm not super duper sold on, and Moltres is also just kind of mid overall. I would rather just play like Delphox V at that point. It's not like terrible, don't get me wrong. It might be okay in Armor Rouge decks, to be honest, because you can use it as like a free retreat pivot, but I'm not sold on it in Armor Rouge overall. I think the other 2 Moltreses might be better, the Pogo one. Then we got some more new cards got revealed. We got Ditto. Now, Ditto's translation isn't on PokeBeach, so I'm going to pull it up here. So we got its translation. Transforming Start. You may use this ability once during your turn. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, choose a basic Pokemon except Ditto from your deck, discard this Pokemon, all cards attached to it, and put the Pokemon you chose in its place. So, yeah, this ability is kind of sick. So, essentially, this gives you an extra Comfey, which is, I think, the main selling point. Now, it does have to be in the active spot, so you do want to have Ditto in the active, but this Ditto is actually kind of cracked. I mean, being able to get a free basic out of your deck like that is kind of insane. I don't think it specifies rule boxes. I could be wrong, though. So I guess it works with rule box Pokemon, I think. It doesn't specify it in the translation. Maybe in the text. I don't know. It might not work with Roblox Pokemon. The big thing that Ditto works with, and the thing that a lot of people, I think, are excited to play Ditto with, is going to be in Lost Box. This could be a good one-of in Lost Box. Essentially, this gives you, like, an extra 4 Comfeys. You know what I mean? So, like, at the start of the game anyway. So, at the start of your turn, you don't open Comfey, right? You open, you know, Ditto, right? It's like, okay, I opened Ditto. That's basically an extra Comfey. Even if you play like 1 or 2 Dittos in your deck, that basically counts as having like 6 Comfeys to start with. Because you'll start with Ditto, and then you can just use Ditto to get a Comfey out of the deck, which is actually kind of good. So I can actually see Ditto seen play. That ability is actually not too bad in Lost Box. And then, of course, like Ditto can also turn into like Sableye and Cramorant, which is pretty good. And even Kyogre. Like being able to cherry pick out a basic Pokemon in Lost Box like that is actually pretty insane, considering Lost Box has to rely on like Nest Balls and Battle VIPs to set up. This actually could be a decent card in Lost Box. I definitely think Lost Box will start playing like 1 or 2 Dittos, because it works really well with all their Pokemon, and it works really well with Comfey too, because it lets you have an extra Comfey for a turn, basically. You can start with this, and hey, look at that, it's just an extra Comfey you have in place. So really cool card. Definitely pretty good for Lost Box, and I think that's the main thing people are excited about, is how good this card is in Lost Box. Then we got the new Snorlax here. Another really interesting card. It's got Gluttony. Once during your turn, you may put 2 leftovers from your discard pile into your hand. So that's interesting. So there is Leftover, which we can take a look at here real quick. So we looked at this earlier when we looked at the Kanto Starter EX. It's Leftover. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in your active at the end of your turn, you heal 20 from that Pokemon. So if it's on your active, you get to heal 20 at the end of your turn. So Leftovers is an okay tool card. It's kind of cool. It's not insanely good. However, it does work really well with Snorlax, where you can use Snorlax here to cherry pick out the leftover. Now, the synergy with this is you can actually play this with something like Pachirisu or Maractus. There is a Maractus that does 50 damage, and then you discard any number of tools from your hand and does 50 for each tool you discarded in this way. We don't really have like an insane tool recovery in the format. There is a Gramble, I think that does work with Maractus, but Maractus isn't super strong. You know, and tools are very hard to get back once you use them up. Yeah, you can play like a Rotom or something, but Snorlax essentially lets you get 4 leftovers, which essentially equals 200 damage for Maractus every single turn. You just have 2 Snorlax on your bench, and it is pretty bulky. I mean, nice thing is Snorlax does have 150 HP. You have 2 Snorlax in play. You do the ability twice. You get 4 leftovers back from your discard pile, and you put those 4 leftovers in your hand, and then Maractus, once again, can do 200 damage for free. And then you have extra tools for your turn, too, to do even more damage. So that's actually a really good buff to Maractus. Maractus is from Fusion Strike. I don't think I've done a video on the card before. I just never was able to make it consistently work. But yeah, Maractus does have a new partner with Snorlax, and now Maractus can be a legit, like, decent rogue deck. So really cool stuff there with Snorlax. Next up is Mewtwo. This Mewtwo does look to be kind of mid. It does double turbo, does 20 damage. During your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon takes any damage from attacks, put the same number of damage on the attacking Pokemon. I mean, it's not that good. I mean, you're only doing 20. If you're doing more damage, maybe it'd be, like, okay. But even then, Mewtwo's going to take, like, 130. I mean, I guess, like, against, like, Miraidon, this could be a pretty funny counter. If they don't play Rope or Boss for the turn, you just hit them for 20, and then, like, Miraidon knocks you out for, like, 250 damage with, like, a Regieleki play, and then you do 250 back to them and knock them out. So I can see where Mewtwo is good in that front, but even as a Miraidon counter, it's probably not that good. Like, Miraidon isn't that hard to beat. You know, they're already made out of glass. And then so their attack is pretty mid, so kind of a mid card all around. I don't know how good this will be. The attack is interesting. The mirror move effect is interesting, but I'm not sure this card will be all that good. But yeah, those are some of the new cards. And the other thing that I want to mention real quick, we don't have the scans of this card yet, I don't think, but there is a Terrestrial Charizard coming out. Now, this is actually not even in the original 151 set. This card is going to be featured in the Obsidian Flame set, which is the 3rd Scarlet and Violet set. So this card already got leaked. I mean, obviously it is a Charizard. It looks kind of cool. I think the translations are out there somewhere, but they haven't been posted on PokeBeach yet, so I'm going to wait for PokeBeach to post them until I do a video talking about these. But yeah, there was also a new reveal of a bunch of the EXs from original 151 that got revealed yesterday on Twitter, so we get to see some of the other new EXs from the set. However, they haven't been, you know, talked about on PokeBeach yet, so I'm going to save that for a future video on the channel, because PokeBeach haven't posted the official scans yet. Because, yeah, we did get to see, like, a bunch of EXs, like Wigglytuff, Arbok, Golem EX, all got revealed, and or they didn't get revealed, but, like, they got, like, leaked a little bit, so you can kind of read what their text says, but I'm not going to talk about those yet until they get, like, fully released on, like, PokeBeach. But yeah, that'll be it for me on today's video here on the second channel. Let me know what you think of these new cards down below. I think Ditto and Zapdos are both legit pretty strong cards. I'm definitely excited for the Zapdos. I think Zapdos is pretty playable. And again, the new Ditto's kind of cool, too. Chansey's kind of lit, too. I think Chansey's kind of a really silly card, too. We'll see if people make some pretty funny Chansey Peony decks. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe down below. Help this second channel here reach 5K subscribers. And that'll be it for me. And I will catch you on another video. Bye-bye.